Hey, we can adjust, coach. It's all good.
All right. Can you see the Wolves
Yes, sir.
Wolves football?
Yes, sir.
All right. So sorry about that, guys. I'm the O-line coach at West Georgia. We play in the Gulf South, which is earlier Coach Sonye spoke from West Florida. We play each other and a couple other schools, but I'm going to jump into it real quick. I'm going to talk about twist progression and pass protection stuff. Real quick, only stats: we were the number one total offense in the country in Division II last year. We had a really good quarterback. He's playing the XFL right now. He skipped his pro day and all that stuff and went straight in and is playing for the Sea Dragons right now in Seattle. But because he was so talented, we threw the ball a lot. I mean, we're number 3 in the country in total pass yards. He threw for over 3,000 yards, and then we also had a 1,000-yard rusher. So because of that, we threw it a lot. We had a lot of different stuff we did in Indy differently because we threw so much drop back game. So we took a lot of pride in not allowing sacks and different things like that. And we were number 4 in the country. We gave up 5 sacks last year and threw it about between 425 and 450 times. But with that, you kind of get a lot of things that limit your negative plays and tackles for loss allowed. So we were top in the country in that, as well as first downs. Our quarterback really did a great job moving the chains for us. So I mean, I'm pretty sure we led the country. They don't keep it by total, but we averaged 26.8 first downs a game. And then we were averaged 40 points a game. What's crazy about the Gulf South, though, we averaged 40 points a game, and we were 3rd in our league in total offense, which that tells you kind of how good the offensive football is in our league. In terms of protection, we're going to talk about there's some drop back games, some quick game protections. There's half man, half slide world. There's full slide game. There's man protections. We do basically all of it. We're very multiple. We have a lot of different answers. We use fullbacks. We use tight ends. We use running backs. We throw empty. We use empty formations. We scat the back. We do a lot of different things that we'll get in. But first thing that we're going to talk about is how we set our protection. We're always trying to create a ditch. We want a dish. We want a wide pocket where our tackles are responsible for setting the width of the pocket, and our middle 3 is responsible for setting the depth of the pocket. So in a perfect world, this is what we want our pocket to look like, would be the top side of a dish. Coach Workman, he and I worked together at one point back in the day, and he talked about phases of the block in the run game. There's also phases of a block in pass protection. So with a man set, the same as an approach in a run game block would be your set angle or your drive. The contact phase, which would be the second phase, and the run block would be your strike and anchor in pass protection. And then your follow-through phase would be your feet, obviously moving, playing with steel bars, and redirecting and preparing for a counter. So from a pass protection side of things, there's still 3 phases of a block. And then everything is a progression-based concept from the ground up. We're huge with talking to our guys about our feet, putting our body in position to strike. And then obviously we looked at how the dish was made. This is how we kind of ID it. If we were in a 4-man slide or a man concept, we have both ways we can call any of our drop back game. We can check a slide protection. We can check a man protection. Our center can do all of that at any point in time based on the front and based off of linebacker alignments and different things like that. So at any point in time, we can do all of these things. With a twist concept, so basically a twist is used to either obviously disrupt your protection or try to get extra one-on-one situations. This could be used with an automatic read by the D-line, or it could just be a set call from the D-line coach from series to series or play to play. But the base part is to get one-on-one matchups and to find different ways to pick offensive players and do different things like that. There's, in my opinion, how we want to block twist, there's keys to it. We want to play long. We want to redirect. We want to be physical, communicate post-snap and pre-snap, know the situation, which is all pre-snap, and then which comes the next one. We want to be aware pre-snap of what we're getting and then using our eyes. A big thing that we do that helps us in our twist game is how we strike. We're very big on independent hands. We use a lot of outside long arms, use an inside lever or clamp hand. We will double strike, but it is versus certain looks in certain situations. The reason we like independent hands is because we can play longer, we can play square, we can combat defenders. D-line coaches are really good now with their hands, so it gives us a chance to get to a battle where if we double strike, we're going to be in trouble. So one thing we do, we get on the mitts. So from, this was new stuff. This was in the spring. We're already done with spring ball. We had our spring game on Wednesday. That's why I kind of threw this together as quick as I could. All right, but we get on the mitts, and really teach our guys to keep a high long arm with their outside hand, like number 70 here in the middle. All right, so we put them on the mitts to aim small, miss small. So we truly drill independent hands at all times. And then our inside hands will set as a lever. So we'll get on the mitts every day. They can do this in the summer on their own. It doesn't have to be with me. Obviously, right there, they're working a set to a mitts. His outside hand, he's a transfer. He just got here. His outside hand needs to be high in his set so he can not miss as long. That's why he's missing it and not having a plan. But this is new for him. Then, obviously, here's another one. We'll work the mitts with our outside hand. This guy's been with me for a year. And he's going to layer with his inside hand as a lever or a clamp hand, which would be his right hand here to stop versus any inside move. But I love using independent hands because I'm able to stay square in all of my sets. It's very square all the way through here. All right, so then if you want to see a version, so we talked about independent hands with our long arm, then you have a clamp hand. So I coached at Mississippi Valley State a couple years ago. This is against Jackson State in 2021. The DN on the top side of the screen is playing against our left tackle. He's playing for the Detroit Lions. I think he had like 8 sacks last year. He's like drafted in the 5th round, but he was very talented, so we had to do a really good job with independent hands. He was a speed rush guy. He could go up and in. He had great hips. He had great hands. So our left tackle had to be really on point. So I wish his hands were a little bit higher, but he's going to work an independent struggle with his outside and then use his inside hands a clamp hand because the guy was always, if you could get him to 3 kicks upfield, he was going to fall back inside on the right hand. All right, right there with his clamp hand. So then now he has created leverage, all right, to get back to an anchor, all right, which is what 78. The minute he leverage there, he's going to steal basically like he's got a nail stabbed through his elbow. He's going to clamp and he's going to lift, and then he's going to anchor and keep hot feet through. And that's what the left tackle is using right there. All right, the right tackle is trying to work a chop hand and go into hands, going to war with that, going to combative hands on number 99. All right, that was a Georgia Tech transfer. So they had 4 D1 transfers and a 4-star across the board right here. Okay, so we had to use some really good hands all the way through to make sure we could handle them. And that's what we're working there. So which is why we're such a big believer in independent hands. All right, now this is here at West Georgia. So our right guard's a little wide with his set, and he drops his post, but he's using a clamp hand with his left. So that allows him to be aggressive with his outside, stay square. And if he gets an inside move, he can go to clamp to a wheel technique, which will get him to a push-pull and use leverage back to center back up on the 3-tech spike right here. Okay, so everything he's doing right here, all right, we'll use a clamp with his left, and that allows him, okay, to come back and get to a wheel to get nose-to-nose on the post. All right, so when we talk about independent hands, we really drill the crap out of it in one-on-one pass rush. So our center, okay, what we tell him is we want to set 7/8 of the man. So we want to take almost all of him, okay, because his job is to set the depth of the pocket. So he needs to take more of the defender so we don't get a short edge. So he's going to take 7/8 and use a long arm with his left hand because he's sliding to his left, which he's throwing his long arm here. And then his right hand is coming from the snap, is going to snap from back underneath, which he gave it to him, all right, to give him back the inside hands now. So he's going 1-2. He's squaring his set. 1-2. I want to see him anchor and get off his heel. I don't like that. He's a little pigeon-toed, so we have to drill some things a little differently with him. All right, but he's going to go, all right, drive and pull, long arm, all right, offhand from back underneath, all right, on the underhook, all right, which gets him back to an anchor with hot feet. So we really will take a lot of time and work our hands on all these. Now, then we want to go back to refitting and squeezes where he should have probably chopped the left or broke the elbow, all right, because I think our D-line coach teaches a forklift. All right, so we're trying to get back to combating that and squeezing that back underneath and making him come down the middle of the defender. All right, and that's what we're working there. All right, right here, this is a kid. He's really a center. All right, he's really our backup center, but we got a little banged up in spring. One of our tackles got rolled up on, so we had to pop him out for a little bit. And what he's working is a long arm to, again, a clamp. All right, and he misses with his left because he's pushing. He should be snatching it tight. But when he gets it back in, it creates some I want to see him jam his right hip high so we don't get a close pocket on this right here. So he's got to get to a clamp way faster than that. All right, the times we use hands as a double strike will come from underneath on a jump. So right here, our left guard's about 6 foot. Okay, he's about 285. The 3 technique on him is about 6'4", 310. All right, he can play. All right, so we had to change kind of our sets. He's kind of working a jump to a double under to get hands from underneath. So the guy was a big-time bull rush guy. So as he's bulling us, all right, we had to change to we can't strike like everybody else because we're not as long as him. So he's going to work a jump or a short set to a double under here, all right, and then be ready for a bull, and we got to walk it out or hop it out quicker. But we're at least getting a chance to stop his rush before it starts on the line of scrimmage. Okay, with some of our inside guys, if they're not as long or they're playing more of elite pass rushers, we try to stop their rush before it can even start. And that's what we're working here. We're going jump to double under. The biggest thing when you jump or short, you got to keep a high post foot, which is he's trying stuff. This was this spring. So we're working different things. All right, and that's what we do in our pass pro one-on-one stuff. We're working a jump here with this guy to stop their rush before it starts. He's got to keep his head out, and then he's getting to a clamp. All right, and you can see how the inside hand's allowing him, and he's getting back to his post. Needs to stay high. All right, he's a little stiffer guy that we have. In D2, you get so many different types of bodies. You can have guys that are 6'5", that are long and athletic. You can guys that are 6'1", that are a little shorter. It might be a little stiffer, and they're used just to move guys. So you got to do a lot of things with different body types. So you can't just set and teach one way to set everything. So we're going to work a lot of different sets. We're going to work a lot of different hand concepts. All right, and that's really what we're going to really putting a lot of our time into. All right, like right here, this guy's 6'4", long kid, about 280. All right, but he's tempo to set a little bit too much, but he's able to get long arms and levers in there here. He needs to keep his his inside hand a little bit higher. All right, he's dropping it. You never want to have your inside hand facing the ground. You should always be layering the defender so we can get to a clamp quick. All right, but this way, so these guys are working long arms to clamps. All right, he just needs not tempo is set. But we're going to try all this stuff. All right, and we need to reset our hands here quicker during these one-on-one sets, one-on-one situations. All right, the biggest thing is we want to build the set from the ground up. All right, there is a major correlation with hips in our sets with golfing, all right, and swinging a bat. So if I was kicking to my right here, and I am this guy with the stagger, right foot stagger, I would want to close and cut my hip back square, my shoulder square to get me back square, just like I'd be hitting a baseball over center field. All right, same thing in golf. If I'm driving, I'm basically in a right foot stagger here. If I'm driving a golf ball, when I close my hips through and transition my power through the golf ball to hit it straight and square, that's the same thing as where I need to be in a set. All right, and so that's a lot of stuff that we talk about with our guys, that if this is your inside foot, this would be your inside foot, this is your outside foot, this is your outside foot. I got to get my hips back square to where I'm hitting the ball, all right, which would be for us where we're driving into our set on the defender. Okay, our eyes in pass pro, we're going to look at the inside number and shoulder point. We want to see more of the man. All right, but that's going to tell me where he is going to go on a lot of things. If that shoulder disappears, I can get to a post. There's different things like that. All right, so every day we're going to work drives off med balls. We're going to work drives on PVCs and really focus on driving back and lateral. Okay, there's a lot of stuff about in protection. Okay, when you guys do this med ball drill, all I tell them to do is get in a stance. And then whatever side they're kicking to, just pop that knee down. That's what the center's doing here. He's getting in a stance. He's going to pop his knee right down to keep his width that he's always playing with out of his stance. And he's going to work the drive. And you can see his outside hands, right hand's a little higher. His inside hand, which would be his lever hand. All right, we can work to a post. We can work to a flat post. All right, but we're going to work driving square. We'll have a drive foot and a catch foot. I still think that is a very good concept to teach. All right, so we will do a lot of that. Then we will go to the PVC pipes. All right, and really worry about staying square. I'm checking their hips and their shoulders. When you pick up twist, you have to be square and you have to play long. All right, and this allows me to check their sets, all right, before we get out there and when we're working OTAs and different things like that. All right, then you can put it all together from the ground. We can put some dots down and we'll give them landmarks. All right, so if we're sitting right here in the middle is where we start, I'm working a 2 set. I can work a short set. I can work different things, but I'm the defender, and they're working their set off of me. All right, and I'm checking their shoulders. And the biggest thing is you don't want to see him drive with his left knee. He's doing it a little bit here and pulling. You want to see him drive off of his right instep and big toe. All right, but he's pulling a little bit too much with his left, but then he's getting back to a square, all right, position where he's going to knock this knee back in, cut my hip, and long arm with my left, which will get me back to being square. All right, so when picking up twists, we're very big with playing square and all this. Okay, so I'm just checking all of these different things and using these for landmarks, all right, just to give them a reference point. Okay, when we strike, we want to make sure that our head is out. Okay, when you're seeing twists, you want to make sure your headgear is separated from the defender. So all we'll do, we work a separation, a headgear drill. We start with our head tucked in, and we want to snap that out as quick as we can so we can see the defender and play long. All right, so we'll work that probably once a week, and then we'll obviously re-emphasize it throughout what we're doing. Okay, some keys, all right, to make sure whether you're picking up twists in the slide, all right, this is in the spring, okay, is the center's got to get back and lateral square into the slide or into wherever you are telling him to get to. So right here, our center is getting back. This isn't a twist, it's just a movement. Our center is getting back and square and lateral into the slide here, which is why we're able to take this. I wish the guard could be a little thicker with his right hand, all right, because he's wasting himself. All right, there's no reason to be thin here. We should be a little heavier here to set the depth. All right, but our center does a nice job getting back and square and lateral back into the slide. Okay, that's what we're looking to do here. Okay, here's another version of it. All right, the center, this might be a twist game here. Let's see. All right, nope, it's just a little tag stunt, but the center's got to get back and lateral square. Oop. Hold on one sec. There we go. All right. Come on.
Hey, Coach, the next coach is going to be a couple of minutes late, so you got time.
Okay. All right. So right here, the center's going to work back and lateral square. Okay. And you'll see it right here as we go. So he's going to drag and get back and lateral. So he's able to take this tag stunt. Now the left guard's doing a much better job firming up the pocket. So they were able to step up. All right. So we can get a version of a dish. The left tackle, all right, he's false stepping with his inside just a hair because he's hopping because he's on his heel. All right, he's a big, long guy. We got here. He transferred from a junior college. He got here late. So he was just trying to get him caught back up. But that's what we're trying to get here. Here's our backup twos. This is in our spring. Here's our two center. All right, and he's going to work. You'll see right here, back and lateral. So it doesn't have everything that we show you is not going to be the same person. It works for everybody. So right here, they're twisting. We're going to get the center back and lateral square. All right, again, we don't want to waste the left guard here, but it gives the time for the quarterback time to step up in the pocket here. But we're working back and lateral square into the slide. All right, here the center needs to be a little more square here. Okay, on the late twist, unfolding here because he's going to get a little bit of leakage. So he needs to really drive and get back and lateral square. We're giving up a little bit too much ground with the left guard on the underside. We need to get to the midline of the defender. All right, and that'll make it a little easier here. All right, I'm going to jump through. I can look at that. We got a bunch of those all day with getting back and lateral square. All right. So here we go. All right. Okay, so right here we're going to get a twist game, okay? And we really need to work on the guard does not need to underset. We're getting lucky on the left side here. We need to take more of the defender square. All right, we got a little quick dragon step, but we're going to pass the penetrator over and up and get back to it square. The center's doing a really good job in the slide, taking number 90 on the loop stunt here, okay? And that'll get him back to a kick to re-kick and then flatten that out now. Okay, so what we did, we took the loopers and slammed it, so we brought a place where the quarterback's able to step up into the pocket here on the twist. But all of it's because he's square and getting back to it. We still need to be a little bit more square there. It takes time. All right, this is some of our second guys up right here. All right. Again, we need to be a little more square. We're going to take more of the defender here. So some of these are in third down situations. We're going to sit on some of them. Some are in first down situations. All right, but the right guard is really square in his set. We're dragging with the right tackle, which allows us to have time to sort this quick, all right, and get back to the looper, all right? And everything's about redirecting there, okay? So I'm going to shoot through here. All right, some of the stuff we do, we call it a drag and read. So if I am the tackle, okay, on the man side, I want to drag and set the 3. I want to read the 5, or I'm drag and set in the 4, and my eyes are reading the 9, okay? So we're really going to drive. I really want to make sure that he's not on his heel. His hips are a little high in his set. He's a big, tall kid, all right? So we had to really develop him. He had a great year. He's 6'6", 330-pound guy. So there was some stuff that we had to really work through with his body and some of his ankle mobility, which is why he's struggling on this heel kick here. All right, but he's reading all the 9, feeling the 4. Same here. Now here we're doing a 3-5, all right? The right tackle, okay, needs to be dragging the hand, seeing the 5. He loops. Right now, I'm going straight to a trap concept and taking over and absorbing the 4 or the 3 technique right here. So I'm just training eyes. Same thing here. We're seeing the knees, seeing the man. All right, shoulder point goes in. All right, he goes now. Now I'm going back, drag the trap right there, boom, and I'm coming back square. I don't want to see, that's why I said knee, I don't want to see the left tackle right here, his knee come up. All right, I want to see it come more forward, not up. All right, and taking more of the defender. Okay, so that's what we're working here. So if you look at it, if you look at the left tackle here, he's going to see 5. Here's when I was at Valley. All right, I wish you would have dragged this, but you're going to see him redirect, boom, now. All right, which allows us to snap the guard off. The guard turned too much in his set. All right, he was pretty athletic, so he got past it. But you're going to see the tackle right here go read, all right, to bang it through on the looper call, okay, and absorb that up. All right, here's another look at it here. The left tackle, this is basically all third down situations here. It's all 2-minute stuff. We're getting twist every play. We got to be square with the left guard in his set, all right, to take more of the defender, okay, which is what we're doing with 78 here. He's going to pass the penetrator over and up. The left tackle is going to drag the looper call, all right, and that's going to make him bang it off. And now I got to get my right foot high and clamp it back and squeeze, all right, but that's what you're working here. There's a place for the quarterback to step up off the twist. All right, this is against Delta State on the 2-5 technique. All right, we treated the 2 like a 3 that week because they were twisting out of it. So now we're going drag, all right, to looper to bang it off. We're throwing the penetrator over and up with the right guard. We want to make sure you get extension there, all right, and then we're going back to a hop here, all right. Same here right now. So now we're getting drag set to guard looper, okay. So if you watch this, we're getting drag. All right, where the guard had the looper, so he's got to bang this off now. The guard's got to leave there. So now I got to trap and expand the tackle back off. Now the tackle's going to snap off. Stop the penetrator at all costs. Number 1 rule with twist is stopping the penetrator. All right, and now it allows him to snap off sink late to it, okay, but expands the pocket just a hair late, okay. Now right here, that'll be the same thing here. All right, he goes in now. All right, we get a looper read. He's going to go back in tight on the right tackle side. Okay, the biggest thing we got to make sure we're doing is with our feet is redirecting. All right, so we'll get some sandbags and work this drill to redirect, okay, and to make sure our hands are out of our body and that we're playing with extension, okay, which is one of the biggest things with twist. All right, and then we'll do it without it, but I got to make sure when I'm redirecting that I'm getting the defender out of my chest on all this stuff. All right, now I know this isn't a twist, but we're getting a drop call on the left side between the left tackle and the left guard here. Okay, so the left guard and tackle know that he's dropping, so he sees it right away, drop call. Okay, the guard reacts right away. We need to make sure the tackle closes the space up. All right, and then we get back to the added on pressure right here. So he's going, you can see the redirect with his feet right here. That's a big version of why we do that drill. Okay, with the drop there. All right, so right here you get the guard tackle redirect on the left side. So we got the 3-5 twist late. Okay, so we're going drag and setting squaring off more of the man to late loop, okay, to bang it off. So you're literally working the redirect together between the tackle and the guard here. So you can really see that, all right, and how it's going to unfold with the drill that we just did. All right. Right here, this is the version of the center on the redirect. So centers are the pendulum and the protection. All right, this guy we got to be a little careful with. Like I said, he's a little pigeon-toed, so sometimes his foot crosses over. Okay, so we really need to fight that pressure here. All right, but he can go back to a re-kick if he's behind it. So right here, he's working kick to re-kick just like he did on the zigzag, all right, or redirection of what we were working earlier. Okay, the left guard turns his shoulders way too much and undersets him, which is why he's late to the looper here. So that's why the left guard is late on all this, and the center is stuffing it. Okay, and he's back in lateral square in the slide, and he gets back to a re-kick, okay, to set the depth. All right. Right here, we're working a guard redirect, so we're in a man call here. All right, what I don't like, we should be setting back on this so we don't get picked. All right, hold on. Ooh, my bad. All right, so the guard and center need to work more back. The center needs to work to a settle set. This is during spring, so there's a lot of practice stuff on here. All right, the guard's working back. He's got the looper. We're going to go to a redirect and play long, get him out of our chest, and then we can firm it up so we can step up. He should have just stepped up there. All right, we will work what we call passing the penetrator, okay? So what we're doing, these are new guys. Some of these guys are new guys that haven't been here long, all right? So they're going to fit with the defender. So if I have the penetrator and I am playing long, okay, I'm going to start with my feet buzzing. So, like the right tackle, these two just got here. This was spring. They got here in January. So, we need to get them lower in their hips like this guy who's been here longer. All right. So, we're going to buzz our feet. Same thing. This guy's new too. So, he doesn't really know as much about the drill. We're going to go buzz our feet. All right. To penetrate, we're going to throw them over and up. And then I want to snap back off, sink and accept, or snap back over based on the twist that I'm getting. All right. So, if you watch that, we're working, throwing the penetrator over and up and getting extension. Okay. And then we'll work it on patterns. So I want to make sure we're not turning too much, that we're setting back square. We're working patterns together. All right. Stuff that we'll work through practice after it. Okay. Then we'll work passing the penetrator over and up, passing the penetrator over and up, and then hopping out. Okay. Once we snap off of it. So that's what we're working here. We're throwing the penetrator over and up, getting extension. All right. And then stopping the bull if they were coming through with the looper. Same thing here. We're going to pass penetrator over and up. Hopping out the looper. All right, he's missing on his hands. Sometimes you got to come from underneath on these. All right, especially if it's like a backer or something like that. Throw him over and up, get him out of chest, play with extension. All right, and get to the hop out right there. All right, and let him reset his hips. Okay, so we're going to see he's going to get him out of his chest to go over and up. All right, get full extension. Don't grab, full strike. Throw him over and up. All right, on this, we'll then get to a hop up. He could play from underneath on these. All right. But we need to reset our anchor here. All right, same here, over and up. This guy's a pretty violent character. All right, which we have to be violent when we're throwing him over and up. Be violent with it, over and up, hop it out, get him out underneath. Reset, take his rush, and force it back up by using a hop. All right, so right here, you're going to watch the guard on the left side. All right, this was in the spring of last year. So he gets the penetrate, throws him over and up. He's still under set, needs to take more of the man, but violent, and then gives him time to snap off on the looper. All right, there's one right there. Here's another one, the right guard. This was last year in the spring. We need to take more of the man. The right guard's going to pass him over and up, out. He's got to separate his head here quicker. All right, we got the drag by the tackle, the right tackle. Throw him over and out, okay, and then we will snap off and get ready to counter, okay. All right, now this is that valley. Now right here we get a penetrator with the nose. All right, the 3 is the looper. Okay, we're in a rock call, which is a 4-man slide here. All right, we flatten the penetrator out, over and up, and then we snap back with the left guard on the looper. Get them out of your chest, over and up, all right, and redirect. Okay, one drill, I got this from Georgia. They do a really good job. They go hand fight to rip. All right, now you can work on this snapping off on blitzers or loopers. All right, so we're going hand fight, rip, okay, and then snapping off quick on looper, throwing him over and up as quick as we can. All right, hand fight, here you go. Hand fight, rip, throw him over and up, and then snap off as quick as I possibly can, sink back and accept. So,
all right, Coach, I'm going to have to stop you right there. I'm going to get Coach in. I appreciate you and talking about picking up twists. Picking up twists is very hard. It can be, and we appreciate you talking about some pass pro for us.
No problem. Sorry about the technical difficulties earlier.
It's all good. It's all good.
Right.
Thank you.